Hello Internet, it is me, the man. And did you know that Love Letter's been cancelled? Because I didn't. I only just heard about it the other day, but apparently it happened over a week ago. I briefly considered not even making this video because it's already old news at this point, but I only just found out and I thought I'd do it more as a wrap-up to my previous video on the game than anything. So here we go. Now honestly, I had stopped closely following the development of Love Letter shortly after I made my video comparing it to Yandere Simulator. This was around the same time a bunch of stuff came out about Dr. Apeis, like the fact that he lied about who he was, and it turned out that he was the developer of that failed game Heartbreak, and then he reused some of the code from that in Love Letter, and that's how he was able to develop so much in 2 weeks. And then there was a bunch of drama with his staff. I remember there was a copyright issue, and the main artist quit, and then they had to drop the Bochan character, and then they redesigned the main character like 3 times in 2 days, and that was just kind of crazy to follow. And then there was something about a staff member sexually harassed other staff members and then got fired for it, rightfully so, but then got secretly rehired without telling the other staff members about it, and then they all found out, and then a bunch of them quit and made videos exposing it and talking about the inner politics of the project, and it was just messy and mean-spirited and awful and distasteful, and it just disgusted me, and I didn't want anything to do with any of that, so I kind of just stopped following the project because of that. Now, to be fair, I did keep an ear open in case any major updates were released for the project. I was legitimately looking forward to seeing where the game was going to go, but over the last month I didn't really hear anything, and then I noticed something was up the other day when I was on Discord, and I saw that I was no longer part of the Love Letter server. I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Maybe I got kicked for inactivity, or they were doing a server purge or something, but then none of the invite links worked, so I was like, okay, something's got to be up. Well, as it turns out, the server's just gone, which is honestly really unfortunate. They had managed to create quite a large and active community in not a lot of time. I think there was over 20,000 people on the server, which is really impressive. I mean, I wish my server was like that. More than anything, I was just surprised it got deleted because it had gone from being an official server to a fan-run server quite a while ago, so I couldn't really understand why the fans had deleted it. But then I checked, and the Twitter account, the official Twitter account for the game, was also deleted, and Dr. Apeis' account's been privated. Now, this is really unfortunate. I wish that they had just abandoned the game's Twitter account instead of deleting it, so at least we could look back at old tweets for posterity's sake, but I'm pretty sure I know why he chose to do that, and we'll get to that in a minute. As it stands, the only thing that really still exists is the Love Letter fan Reddit, which looks like it's been nuked, and there isn't a lot of activity there. The most recent posts are just talking about how the game is dead, no one's working on it, and a lot of people are either angry at Dr. Apeis for mishandling the project, defending him, blaming Yandere dev for the whole mess, and just overall being really disappointed in the project. So this all brings us back to Dr. Apeis, the creator of the game. About a week ago on his YouTube channel, he officially announced that he was canceling the project, and briefly explained why he had decided to do so. The 2 main reasons he gives are online harassment and a loss of interest in the project. Apparently, he's been receiving quite a lot of death threats from either ex-fans angry at how he handled things, or supposedly from Yandere Simulator fans that just hate him and the project on principle. In addition, he's also no longer having fun making the game, and now that I can understand, because if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, you're not going to be motivated to do it, you're not going to produce good work, you may as well just not do it. And in regards to the death threats, I wouldn't have told the kid to kill himself, but I also think that he totally mishandled everything. Now, I'm gonna try not to be super hard on Dr. Apeis, because I think he's just a 17-year-old kid, rookie indie developer working on a passion project. It's not like he grifted anyone out of money, because if he had, there'd be some serious pitchfork sharpening for me. But as it stands, I think he handled everything else about as poorly as you can. From his staff, to the game's marketing or lack thereof, to the development updates, it was all pretty poor. And now, he's deleted the Twitter, privated his own Twitter, removed all comments from his videos. That's how you know truly crap has hit the fan. The second someone privates comment sections, that's awful. Honestly, the game has been completely surrounded by drama and controversy since the moment it was announced, and while I do think that was helpful in getting the word out there and making the project popular, I think it was a detriment in almost every other way, and I don't think that Dr. Apeis is entirely a victim here. I mean, half the drama was either started by or started because of him. The developer had quite a lot of skeletons in his closet, and those do have a tendency to come out and get you when you least expect it, so I don't feel entirely bad for him. And then just look at how he marketed the game. He started off by making a couple videos on his channel talking about everything he didn't like about Yandere Simulator Simulator and how he would do it better, and then he announced he was making a game in which he was going to do it better. He's used all the drama that was already there surrounding Yandere Simulator just to boost publicity for his own game. Now, it might be a coincidence that he decided to do that right as the Reddit raid was happening, but somehow I doubt it. I think that he saw that, and he was already planning to do it anyway, and he was like, ah, this is the perfect moment, and he just went for it. Now, do I think that Dr. Apeis expected Love Letter to blow up as much as it did? No, probably not, but I also don't feel bad for him. I think that suddenly having 200,000 people interested in his project overnight was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. He was given the ultimate opportunity. Everyone at that moment in time was against Yandere Dev. They were angry, they were disenfranchised with Yandere Simulator, and they had the pedestal ready to place Dr. Apeis upon as the chosen one. All he had to do was not be as bad a developer in their eyes as Yandere Dev. And he couldn't do it! How do you mess that up? You were given every possible tool to work with, and you fricked it up! Now believe me, I understand cracking under pressure. I understand having stage fright. Suddenly being everyone's chosen one is gotta be a lot to live up to. I don't know that I would be perfect under it either. I could understand slipping. I could understand making mistakes. But to slip as bad as he did, it's just unexcusable. I mean, for God's sakes, don't hire back the sexual harassment guy. It's not that hard. So now, as everything crumbles around him, what does he do? Does he stand up? Does he own up to what he's done and promise to move forward as a stronger man and developer? Well, he's halfway there. He's apologized a lot for all kinds of stuff. I remember before he privated and or deleted his Twitter, he apologized for just a whole slew of things that he allegedly did, some things that he just admitted to doing that no one even accused him of, and most of it was fairly innocuous. And, like, not the part where he rehired the sexual harassment guy, like, little things that no one cared about. And there was a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, I'll be better moving on. And then he didn't show us that he was being better moving on. I think what really hurt Dr. Apeis and the development of Love Letter was that he kept the development under such tight wraps. I remember ex-employees of his talking about, like, having almost NDA agreements where they weren't allowed to talk about what they were actually working on. Like, the main complaint with Yandere Dev was that he wasn't doing the work fast enough, he wasn't being honest about what he was doing, and he was just kind of sitting on people's Patreon money. All Dr. Apeis had to do was be transparent. That would have been the ultimate thing. Just show us what you're doing, man. And he didn't do that. He was just as secretive and manipulative as Yandere Dev allegedly is. But in the end, you want to know what I find the most frustrating, what I'm the most disappointed about? It's the gameplay footage that he used in his official cancellation video. It looks really good. Like, I legitimately want to play that game. Okay, it's not perfect. There's that one dude standing in a bench or whatever. There's some glitches. But hey, this looks way better than anything he showed in his official update videos he released occasionally like a month ago. And at this point, you've announced that you're canceling the game. You're not going to work on it anymore. You were going to release it for free anyway. Just dump the files, dump the pre-alpha tech build on like IndieDB or something. I don't care if the game's broken, if it's like Halo 2 E3 trailer and if you like look to the wrong side, everything goes and the game dies. Like, just let me mess around with it. Hill Valley is a broken, not even a game, but I still had like 8 minutes of fun with it. Just let me mess around. The only reason I could feasibly think that he's not doing that is if he's really worried that someone's gonna like steal his assets or characters. I know at the end of his video he said that after taking a long break and recovering his mental health, which I hope he does, he and some of the old team might get back together and work on a new project with some of the same assets and characters, but it would be in a different genre. And I honestly hope that they do that and then that project actually works out well for them and that they can make a fun game for us to play. But if they never do that, and even if they do, just release the tech files. Why not? Let us have some fun. Come on. I think the part of his video that I take the most issue with is the bit where he says,
I feel as if I could do better and excel outside of the Yandere genre because, all in all, this entire genre of games is cursed. If you make a Yandere game, there's bound to be drama behind it. There's bound to be toxic and hateful communities coming at you.
I don't think the genre is cursed. I think if you're gonna make a game like Yandere Sim, you gotta know what you're getting into. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of Fnatic fanboys, they're super loyal to Yandere Dev, there's gonna be some toxicity, and maybe Yandere Dev will threaten you with legal action. I don't know, it's possible. But just make your game different enough that you can prove that you're not copy-pasting him, and don't, like, say that Yandere Sim is trash and my game is great. Because, yeah, that might get you some fans, but it's also gonna generate a lot of animosity. Just don't make a call-out post on twitter.com saying that you hate Yandere dev. Just make your game and make it good, and people will play it. Alright, I think I've probably rambled on long enough about all this stuff, considering it is already old news at this point. In the end, just sad news for Love Letter. I was looking forward to seeing where that game was going. Just a disappointing end, lots of disappointment. The game was mismanaged. Lots of factors led to its downfall. I think it was a little bit cursed from the start, even though it really shouldn't have been. Dr. Apeis made a lot of mistakes, and I don't think he's being entirely accountable for a lot of them. I think he's running and hiding and trying to pass the blame on to others. The buck should really stop with him, should own up to it, but hopefully this is just a big learning experience for him, and whatever project he works on next will be successful, and hopefully he'll make a good game that we can all enjoy playing. I wish him all the best, and I think if any good thing came from this, it's probably that it put some pressure on Yandere dev to finally release the official demo for Yandere Sim. Now that demo has some problems of its own, but a lot of those are already being worked on, and personally I really enjoy the demo, so I'm happy with it, and silver lining I guess. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video at least somewhat interesting. If you want to see more like this from me in the future, please consider subscribing. Bigger numbers are always better, and that would be really nice. And hey, you can always join my Discord server. It doesn't have 20,000 members, but you can be one of the lucky few. Links down below. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again on whatever I decide to do next real soon. Goodbye!